Yesterday, Maggie did end up going to the emergency vet. Hey guys, and welcome to a random, unexpected video, but you can't always predict everything that's going to happen with animals. So yeah, but I do like to keep you guys updated. So we're going to talk a little bit about Maggie here, what's been going on with her, and as you can see, she is doing better today, which is great. She is just tired, which is understandable. So I'm just going to let her sleep and nap on this little pillow while I talk about her a little bit. So yesterday, Maggie did end up going to the emergency vet. So I'd say it was around yesterday morning. Maggie asked to go out pretty early. That's what Mom was saying, that she asked to go out pretty early, like 7:30, and usually Maggie likes to sleep in, so that was a little unusual, and she went out a lot yesterday morning. But then yesterday afternoon, we were all just kind of hanging out in the backyard. We had just finished, well, I had just finished eating lunch, so I went upstairs and came back outside, and we were all just kind of hanging out. And we realized that Maggie was bleeding from her bottom. That was obviously not usual, and my mom was kind of looking it up and stuff, and we were like, oh, well, that's not good. She was bleeding a lot from her bottom, and it just didn't look too good. So obviously, if anything happens like that with your animals, you're going to want to take them to the vet, because that's not normal, that's not usual, that's not anything that your dog or cat or guinea pigs or whatever should be happening. So my dad ended up calling the regular vet, because we do have a regular vet for our dogs that we've taken them to many times, and they are a great vet. That's just the vet that we've always kind of went to. So we called them and we were like, explain what was going on, and they basically said, well, they were open, but this was on Saturday, so we weren't sure if they were open, but they said that they were open from 4 to 8 p.m. So they just recommended taking her to the emergency vet. And so we did call the emergency vet, and they basically said, like, if she's not severe enough, they said that they were really busy that day, so they were like, if she doesn't need any urgent attention or whatever, you guys can just take her back home, and you can wait and just take her back in later. So we drove to the emergency vet, which is basically I don't know how many minutes away, like 10-15 minutes away, something, without terrible traffic. So yeah, we just basically drove 10 minutes or so to the emergency vet, however far away it is, and took her in there. And due to COVID, you obviously cannot just go into the vet and say, hi, we're here. You can't just sit in the waiting room, and you can't just bring your dog in, so you do have to wait. It's basically kind of like curbside vet. I don't know, you'll know what I mean if you've been to the vet during the pandemic, which I think most of us have, because it's been like a year. Most of us has probably gone to the vet with our animals at some point in this past year. So if you have been, you will know that you just kind of drive up and wait, and then they'll come and take your dog from the car or a cat or whatever. So we just drove up and waited a little bit, and then they came out and took her in, and they were like, yeah, well they called us a little while later, and they were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna take her in right now and try to figure out what's going on. Is what they did. They took her in, and they said we just had to, my dad had to sign some papers and stuff or whatever, so he did all that, and then they called back and they were like, yeah, we got all of your information and stuff, you are free to take off and head home. So we took off and headed home and got some boba, because why not? Boba is awesome. So we just kind of chilled at home for a little bit, and then they called my dad again and were like, oh, well, it could be this, you know, it could be a million things. Like, they didn't know exactly what was wrong with Maggie, what was causing her to bleed from her bottom, but obviously it wasn't normal, and we didn't know why. We didn't know what caused it, because the day before, she was completely normal, but then she was just asking to go out more often, then we noticed she was bleeding from her bottom, so we didn't 100% know what caused it. So they were like, yeah, it could be this or this or this. We're gonna do some testing, give her some fluids, give her some medication, because they said one big thing could be dehydration and they didn't want her to get dehydrated or anything, so they just want to make sure she got fluids and everything. So they basically gave her fluids, medication, and they did a whole bunch of tests to try to figure out what was wrong with her. So yeah, and then they called back and I don't know what they said, but then they said we can go and get her and pick her up. And at that point she had been there for almost 4 hours, maybe 3 hours. So yeah, they were just trying to figure out what was going on with poor little Maggie, and basically all the tests and everything came back inconclusive. So we don't know exactly what happened, but they were like, we'll send you home with this and this and this, all these medications, and just make sure she's staying hydrated and everything, getting enough water, because that is a really big factor in what could be going on. Just making sure she has enough water and everything is going to be key for this whole situation. So yeah, we just are giving her, making sure she has enough water, making sure she is drinking, monitoring her really closely, and we were sent with a bunch of different medications for her. One of them is like a little I don't know what medication it is. I'm not a vet, so I don't know dog medications, but one of them is just some sort of medication in like a syringe, and we're gonna have to put it in her mouth like this and put the medication in her mouth, but she did not like that. She was not interested. So yeah, she kept jerking her head, so we ended up just squirting the medication, like all of it, in her chicken and rice, because oh yeah, they did say to just feed her some chicken and rice just to make sure her stomach wasn't getting upset or anything. Chicken and rice does usually help with all of that stuff in case it was some sort of stomach issue, because they do think it could have been some sort of stomach issue, but again, we aren't 100% sure. Yeah, but again, they did just send us home with those medications, and we've been feeding her chicken and rice, which she absolutely loves. Not surprisingly, Maggie loves all kinds of chicken and rice and everything like that. We have had to feed her chicken and rice in the past because sometimes she'll just throw up or have diarrhea or something, because Maggie does have a really sensitive stomach, so if she ever eats anything that like she isn't supposed to, or eats anything that upsets her, maybe just something random upsets her stomach, then she does end up having issues. So yeah, of course Maggie is the one having all of these issues because she does have a sensitive stomach, so we don't really know what happened, but anything that did happen that caused her to have this issue is not super surprising that Maggie's the one to have the issue, because she does have a really sensitive stomach and digestive system and everything like that. So of course Maggie's the one with all of these issues, and the other dogs just kind of don't have such sensitive stomachs. So yeah, but that is basically what has been going on with Maggie, and we have been feeding her all of her different medications that they gave us for her, and making sure she drinks water, just hydration, and she is just a little bit tired, but as you can see, she has been doing better, even though she really doesn't look like it because she's just sleeping. But this is Maggie like all the time. She's a very calm dog, so she's gonna sleep. I mean, yeah, and she is just a huge ball of floof. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I don't know when this is going to be posted, probably just when I get around editing it. But I'm sorry for this super unexpected random video, but I do really like to keep you guys updated. It just goes to show that nothing is ever completely planned out for your animals, and you always need to have a vet on hand. You always need to have your regular vet and your emergency vet, and you need to make sure if anything happens like this that's super unexpected, you can just get your dog or cat or guinea pigs or whatever into an emergency vet right away, because it is really important to tackle the problem as soon as it happens and not just wait, because if you wait, it's going to end up getting so much worse. And we were able to catch Maggie's problem as soon as it happened, luckily. So yeah, she is okay now, and she will just be getting medications and her chicken and rice, and I will definitely keep you guys updated as always, because I do like keeping you all updated with the pets and what's been going on with them. So the next Maggie update you'll probably hear about is in my pet updates video that is coming soon. I do have some other exciting updates for you guys. So yeah, the next update you will hear of Maggie will probably be in that video, and she will probably still just be getting all of her medications and stuff. She'll be on medication for the next 2 weeks, 15 days. I don't know, some of the medications are going to go longer than others, but yeah, hopefully she is just still continuing to improve. And that is it for this video, so I will see you guys whenever the next one is, and yeah, bye!